My name is Kyle Murphy. This is my CIS 111 LCP presentation. I'm going to be doing my presentation over the dangers of styrofoam and the styrofoam accumulation that has been going on UK's campus. Alright, so the University of Kentucky has been contributing a lot of styrofoam waste to the already growing number of 2.5 million tons of styrofoam waste each year in the United States. Just to put this into perspective, the Empire State Building alone weighs only 350,000 tons. Another fact that kind of helps you see the overall scale of this styrofoam waste accumulation is that styrofoam takes up about 25 to 30% of landfills as far as volume goes. So it's a pretty big scale problem. So how does UK contribute to this styrofoam waste? So recently with COVID-19, and in order to stop the spread, UK has been giving out these styrofoam trays in an attempt to get students to stop loitering in the cafeterias and spreading COVID-19, and in hopes of getting them to take their food back to their dorms. And so while this is a good idea for stopping COVID-19, it kind of creates a whole new problem, which is a large accumulation of styrofoam on campus. As you can see, this picture right here was taken from my dorm, not even near the dining halls. And the picture you see down here in the lower screen is not too big of an exaggeration of what you would see here on campus on a daily basis. And so how I plan to counter this issue would be to switch out these styrofoam trays for more eco-friendly paper trays. So why is this a problem? In this video I'm going to be going over some of the main points, how it's non-biodegradable, how even though it technically is recyclable, it is very difficult to recycle, how it's made up of harmful chemicals and carcinogens, and how it easily seeps into the air, to your skin, into your food, and how it can negatively affect your health, as well as how easily it is to spread. So today I'm just going to be talking about some of the reasons these styrofoam trays are detrimental to us and to our environment. First of all, these trays are susceptible to photodegeneration, but that's only in direct sunlight. So when they're buried underground in landfills, they're unable to decompose and be broken apart. It is considered recyclable material, however, only about 1% is actually able to be recycled, and about 95% of it is consistent of air, which makes it economically unfeasible to recycle in the first place. Next, it is a hazardous substance created from petroleum and is known to cause developmental disorders and has a high correlation with cancer, neurological issues, depression, and fatigue. It easily seeps into our food, air, and skin, which makes it extremely detrimental to our health, as we talked about those hazardous materials in styrofoam. And finally, because of its light, crumbly nature, styrofoam spreads easier than most litter, making it a principal litter. Alright, so this is how I plan on combating this issue. Recently, UK has tried something very similar where they had hard plastic reusable trays, and what would happen was you could pay $5 to receive one of these trays, and then every time you'd go back in, you would switch out your dirty tray for a clean one, and then they would clean them there. And this was a pretty good plan, except for two factors. One, a lot of people didn't want to pay the $5 to receive the tray, so it really didn't have that high of participation. And two, it's a hard plastic, which still makes it, a petroleum-based material, and so it still is very toxic to the environment, and a lot of them were still getting thrown away in the first place. So what I would do is I would take these paper trays, completely get rid of all the styrofoam trays, and completely replace them with these paper trays, so there would be no styrofoam left in the dining halls. A reason that I think these paper trays would be far superior to the styrofoam trays is that they're only a penny a piece, they're cheap. They are biodegradable. They actually can disintegrate in about 2 to 6 weeks in a landfill, and they're not hazardous to manufacture. I know in the last video we talked about how in those places where styrofoam is actually even manufactured, there's a lot higher correlation of developmental disorders, neurological issues, cancer, fatigue, depression, and that sort of thing. It also is not as easily broken up, crumbled, and spread across wildlife as styrofoam is. Styrofoam is very crumbly and very light, so it takes to the wind very easily. It is not toxic to the environment to make paper. Like I said, disintegrates without leaving any chemicals behind, any toxic chemicals, and it's not toxic to our health. You don't get the same chemicals seeping into the food when the paper is heated up as you do when the styrofoam is heated up. And so all around, it's just a lot healthier for us and for our environment. And the place where I went to find these paper trays was here at restockit.com in the bottom. All right, so the call to action. What can we do right now to help fix this problem? First and foremost, we need to reach out to Dr. Capolito. We have to start at the top and let him know that there is a problem on campus that we would like to fix and try to work with him on that. Second of all, we'd like to advertise the importance of this issue. A lot of students on campus are not aware of the dangers of styrofoam and therefore would not be as willing to take part in a campaign like this, wouldn't be as willing to participate in these in the petitions and the paper trays and everything like that. And finally, you can bring your own trays to the dining hall until this change is put into place, so that you're not taking up these styrofoam trays, and you're doing your part to keep the styrofoam waste manageable. So these three things are very easy to do, and I think would do a lot of good for our environment, for our health, and all around for the University of Kentucky. Thank you. These are my references. Part 2.